There's this huge inertia to just start writing or typing out the terms when you have to start your first contract. Every word you write has very serious real life implications. It means something huge. There's an anxiety that am I doing the right thing? There's a fear that what if I make a mistake? Now, this manifests itself in many ways when you actually make the contract. You might end up researching a whole deal extra, like you might take 10 times the amount of time required because you've been thinking about issues, because you've been just sitting and thinking about issues which may not have a real relevance to the deal or the transaction at hand. You may do incomplete or piecemeal work, wanting approval at every little step. You might also do too much of statutory research. When you're actually writing a contract, the idea is to get the intentions and the work to be done by both the parties in place. But when you start thinking of different laws that apply to the contract and start putting all the legal provisions in the contract, it can get messy. So you might end up doing that. You might end up making it too long, too wordy, too technical, and difficult for someone to understand. You might accidentally or inadvertently add additional protection to your client and really onerous terms on the other side without really having your clients go ahead. That can really take your client by surprise if the two parties have to negotiate a deal. And that's not always a good thing. You might think that you actually did something good for your client, but that might backfire if you've not onboarded your client in the right way about this. Another issue is that when you just start writing about a contract, you might end up missing some very critical clauses, or you might end up writing a contract which is inconsistent. Like, there may be terms which contradict each other, there may be errors, and this may happen because you've done a whole lot of thinking. It's almost been cathartic, and you've written a whole big document, and you've not had, at the end of it, you've sort of become blind to it, and you've not had the ability to go through it completely because it's also a very complex document at this stage. So, these are some of the mistakes that you want to avoid and that you want to move beyond when you are drafting your contracts.